July 9th, 10 a.m., District Court, Clue number 3. Hello everybody, and welcome back to Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. We are here in the first day of the trial of our client, Machi. So let's get started. And by the way, Machi is a 14-year-old boy. So, yeah. Floor is now in session 4. How do I say that? Machi Tobey, Your Honor. The Pixie of the Arpeggio. Right, this trial. Court is in session. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is A-OK, Air Judge. Where we are, Prosecutor Gavin? Opening statement, yeah? No, actually, there was something else I wanted to ask you about. Yes? So you're going to visit someone in the hospital with an incurable disease. What do you say to them? Eh? I mean, you wouldn't say get well soon, right? You'd only be kicking them when they were down. What are you talking about? Actually, I'm going to visit someone who is terminally ill. Is that right? Right after this trial, the Chief Justice's son. The Chief Justice? His son is afflicted with the most terrible disease. He doesn't have long, it seems. So I thought I'd go pay him a visit. But I'd say something moving might be in the order of the day. Why don't girls ever just say what's on their mind instead of pretending? She's looking at me with something like disgust. Hey, what are you looking at me like that for? In any case, I'm a bit busy today, so let's wrap this up quickly. Prosecutor Gavin, you'll be a statement briefly. You're unlucky, our judge. I believe that you'll be going on your hospital visit sooner than you think. First, to review the victim in this case. Romain Dutus, age 35. Wow, he was only 35? That's younger than I am. The global manager for Devote Songstress, Lemure. The cause of death, blood loss due to being shot in by a large caliber revolver. This report has all the details. The court accepts this into evidence. The Dutus autopsy report added to the court record. Death due to a loss of blood from a gunshot wound. Estimated time of death 9 to 9:30 p.m. 45 caliber. That's quite large, isn't it? A direct hit from that could knock a man off his feet. However, the bullet struck him in the shoulder. The damage to the body was slight. Death was not immediate. Sadly, his blood loss was such that he could not be saved. I suppose the victim's condition could have been much worse, considering. Crime photo added to the court record. Victim shot in the shoulder in Lemure's room. 2 shots were fired. 1 shot missed, the other penetrated and passed through the victim's shoulder. Both bullets were found in the wall at the scene. Observe the diagram. This is where the bullets hit. I see. The court accepts this evidence. Diagram added to the court record. The crime scene was Lemure's dressing room. If we're talking about a 45 caliber revolver, we must assume that the killer was adept at the weapon's use. Really? Yeah, apparently weapons of that size have a powerful kickback. If, say, the judge tried to acquire one, it'd break every bone in his body. The defense will take more care in choosing examples. As I was saying, the victim was shot backstage in a dressing room. This dressing room has only one entrance, this door. That has seemed to be the case, yes. However, there were witnesses who heard the gunshots. You're talking about you and Emma, huh? Yeah, when the witnesses entered the room, it was empty, save for the victim's body, of course. But that's impossible. Exactly. This murder was impossible. For all but one person. one person. That is, of course, the defendant, Marty Tobey. Only this defendant could have committed the crime? But how? It's quite simple. The circumstances of the crime make it clear. Very well. I assume you have testimony to back up this claim. Please show the witness to the stand. Emma. Your name and profession, please? Emma Skye. I'm a detective for the police department. I was on security detail at the concert forum that night. Emma seems tired somehow. Security at the concert, you say? Some security I was. Couldn't even stop a murder. Now, don't blame yourself. Things like this happen. I made even bigger mistakes in my career, you know? I'm sure that makes her feel much better. I want to hear about these bigger mistakes. In any case, because you were on security detail, the crime was quickly discovered. And we were able to identify the killer. You may give the court your testimony, if you would. Describe the circumstances of that day, and your discovery of the crime, please. Alright. Right. Murderous circumstances. The night of the murder, I was on security backstage at Prosecutor Gavin's request. Only people involved with the concert in some way were allowed backstage. At the beginning of the third set, I heard shots. I went into the room, filled with blaring rock music, and found the body. I examined the scene and determined that only the defendant could have done it. It was lucky that a detective was the first on the scene. But that door was the only way out of the room, right? Yeah, pretty much. Then I don't get it. How can they say that Machi did it? Looks like we need a bit more information. Very well. The defense may begin the cross-examination. Okay.
Hold it!
The night of the murder was the night of the concert, yes? That's right. What was the detective doing on security detail, might I ask? If it was only a concert. I thought exactly. But orders were orders, even when they come from a rock gods. Prosecutor Gavin? Yes, allow me to explain. I smelled something that day, you might say. The stench of conspiracy. That day at the concert hall. Conspiracy? Well, isn't it obvious? My keys. That whole morning, no, the whole day was ruined. And it's all because someone stole my keys. I couldn't have my hog for the show. I couldn't open my guitar case. There he goes again. Isn't it possible to simply misplace them? Misplace them? Misplace that items will just wander into a murder victim's hand on their own. What's this? Prosecutor Gavin, if your keys were in the victim's hand, that makes you a prime suspect. Love, Slotkin, and New. Actual quinine is waiting for you. He's saying something. Does everything with this guy have to be so over the top? The killing happened in the middle of my concert. I was, like a sailor, adrift on a sea of sound. Anyway, I didn't want anything else stolen. So I put the detective with the most time on their hands on the task. I see. I can accept that. Well, I can't. What do you mean, time on their hands? Please, the testimony.
Hold it!
We were let in, though. I didn't know about that. I certainly didn't invite you. I gave the Fraulein special permission to be there. I wanted to see her again. Oh boy, did you hear that? We're officially involved now. Gee, great. Some other hangers-on tried to get backstage, but I drove them off. So no other outsiders were there then. And then... I heard shots.
Hold it!
I believe we were having our chat when we heard the shots. You were there one chatting. I was eating snackoos. Ah, hey, no snacking in court. And you're sure the shots came from Lemuel's room? Yes, absolutely. Hey, I'm the one being cross-examined here. Here, this will keep you quiet. Talk. Thanks. So, munch. I'm sorry. How about it? Emma? You were right. There. What are we mistaken about that? Please, either talk or eat. Not both at the same time. Cool. Right. So after that, me and Mr. Lloyd over there opened the dressing room door. I went to the room and filled with burning hot music around the body.
Hold it!
Rock? Blaring, yes. When you say rock, are you referring perhaps to this rock and roll music that was so popular these days? That's right. When we went into the dressing room, music was blaring over the speaker on the wall. And they piped sound from the stage into the backstage through speakers. That way people in the back room can't hear when they're supposed to be on stage. Did it have to be so loud? You don't listen to the Garriers with your ears. You feel with your entire body and soul. I always have the backstage monitors at full volume. When we walked in the room, the band was playing Guilty Love, I believe, making it easy to determine the time of the crime. If you could hear that music playing, then everyone on stage for that song is an alibi, including myself. Anyway, I closed off the scene and started my investigation. Okay.
Hold it!
How can you know something like that? As I said, I was clear from the circumstances. Listen, we know there was only one exit from the room, that door. The small window only opened a tiny crack, and I was standing in front of that door. So how could the killer have fled the scene? There's only one possibility, the air vent.
Objection!
But that's the air vent was too small. Who could possibly... Exactly. There's certainly no way you could get through. Nor me. The only one who could fit through was a child. A child? Remember, access to those rooms was limited. Only those involved with the concert were allowed. And of all the people involved with the concert, only one is small enough to be considered a child. The defendant? The pixie of the uphead heel floated up toward the sky and disappeared from the scene of the crime.
Objection!
But that's just conjecture. Oh, there was no other way out of that room. You were there. You should know, Air Forehead. And there was another vital piece of evidence. Evidence? What? Marks were found on the air vent grill. Treatise that had recently been opened. Wait, what? And something else was found, quite clearly. The defendant, Machi Topei's fingerprints. What? What? Order, order, order! That air vent was the only way out of the room. The defendant's fingerprints were found on the grill. Well, Airforehead, what fairy tale does this suggest to you? Only one could pass through that vent, that doorway to heaven. You mean stairway to heaven? And that one is our pixie. Why are you looking at me, Apollo? Hey, I was moving it up in the audience. So this was decisive evidence. Quite decisive indeed. I believe that's enough of that. The prosecution has a rather convincing case. The only way in and out of the crime scene was watched, making the defendant the only one who could possibly have leave the scene. Simple and decisive. I believe that we've heard enough to determine our verdict. Even if I wasn't in a hurry to make a hospital visit. I'm sure the Chief Justice would appreciate the gesture. Unfortunately, we have no direct witnesses. Fortunately, the criminal left decisive evidence for us. That will have to be enough. It can't be over already. Very well, I believe this trial is finished. If the defense has no contradicting evidence, the prosecution has presented our proof, clear and plain. If you have contradicting evidence, it better be clear and plain. Apollo, you've got us on the ropes already. You've got to come up with something quick. I know. Think. What can get us out of this? We need evidence, or a witness, that can prove Machi is innocent beyond a doubt. Without that, Mr. Justice, do you have contradicting proof that can overturn the prosecution's case? If you do, you better tell us about it now. This is it, and so soon. If I mess this one up, it's all over. The court will want contradicting proof. Call a witness. Prosecutor Kevin, you claim that there were no witnesses to this crime. Are you absolutely sure? Absolutely. I'd swear it on my career as a prosecutor. And on my million-seller hit song, Angel Quinine, My Love. There he goes again. That's too bad, because there was a witness. Ho, really now. But how do you come to process knowledge about the prosecution clearly does not? Because I am the only one in the world who knows this. What's going on? I just talked to him, and now... He's alive! Mr. Latouche, can you hear us? Can you hear me? Cold. So cold. Witness. You're cold. Don't worry, you're going to be fine. Help us on the way. Can't see. In there, Mr. Latouche. Tell me, who was the witness? The witness is Siren. What? The victim said this before he died? Perhaps he did, and perhaps he did not. What do you mean by that? All we know is what Airforehead says he said. There's no testimony, especially since it comes from the defense attorney himself.
Objection!
But it's the truth. He said it. I even told you about it. But apparently you ignored me completely. It's my policy to fully investigate everything I deem irrelevant. Clearly, this rookie lawyer thinks he can tell me how to do my job. That's enough. Mr. Justice, we need clear and contradictory proof from you. This witness of yours, unknown to the prosecution. Or if you're right, fairly carries a stiff penalty. Perhaps a stiffer penalty than usual is called for. There's no backing out now. Let's hear the name of your witness, Mr. Justice. His name, the Simon.
Take that!
Namor! Recall Mr. Latouche's last words. The witness is Siren. siren. Aha! He meant the siren! That's right, the siren of the ballad, Namiour. Namiour was only on stage for the second set, and she had access to the backstage area. She could have been a witness. I see. Well, Prosecutor Gavin? My claim still stands. There was no witness to this crime. Very well. Let's hear it from the horse's mouth then, shall we? We will now take a break from Detective Emma Sky's cross-examination. Please draw Namiour to the witness stand. Namiour would say nothing the night of the murder. Not today, though. Today you will drag that story out of her no matter what it is. It is my distinct honor to welcome the siren of the ballad to our courtroom. You are too kind. Ah, you can speak English? Yes, I can. But I am not very good. There is much I do not know. You speak so well. Have you spent time here before? Actually, I do not know how I came by my knowledge of your language, nor where I studied it. What does he mean she doesn't know? I too thought to call her as a witness, but I did not. I had a reason, of course. What's that? Namiour suffers from amnesia. Amnesia? Namiour is not my true name. Yet I remember nothing of the time before I was given it. Nothing of the time before I started singing on stage. Whoa, she's even more mysterious than I thought. As lauded singer Namiour, she lives a good life. There were little difficulties for her, thanks to her success. Yet, I did not wish to subject her to unnecessary stress. I see. I care surprisingly little about people's pasts. You have nothing to fear in this court, Namiour. Thank you. Yet there is something I do not understand. I am being called as a witness. What might I say? No one will tell me anything of what happened. Namiour, let me be frank. I do not want to ask you up here to testify. Yet that young gentleman with the white forehead over there was adamant that you stand. Oh my. Congratulations, Apollo. You're the bad guy. Ugh. Well, now that you're here, please give us your testimony. If nothing else, the sound of your voice is welcome. Tell us what you saw the night of the crime. What I saw. As for what I saw nothing. That night, I was invited to sing on stage, and this I did. I did not return backstage after the second set. Then I was led by the police to Mr. Gavin's dressing room and told to wait there. That was where I learned that something had happened, but I wasn't told the details. I must say you sound wonderful just testifying. Hang on, I have to pause my recording real quick. I'll be right back. Came back, I just had to get some more water. Albie was too distracted to hear what she was actually saying. There you have it. She saw nothing that night. Now we can only pray that the defense has the sense to admit defeat and refrain from detaining her here longer than need be. Wow, you just got better, Apollo. Way to go. Grr. Very well, Mr. Justice. Keep it short and sweet. Namiour wouldn't talk to me the night of the crime. She must know something, and I've got to find out what. Okay. You sure about that? the crime scene. We'll look at that later.
Objection!
I'm sorry, Lemure, but I'm having trouble believing you. You remember this brooch, do you not? Why, that's Lemure's. She was wearing it for her song. Care to add that to the testimony, Prosecutor Gavin? What? This brooch was found after the murder took place. At the very scene of the crime. What? Lemure, how did you and Brooch get backstage if you did not go there yourself? And, as Prosecutor Gavin has just told us, you had been wearing it during your performance that night. That was funny. What is the meaning of this? Lemure, please explain. Lemure? Okay, it's some gibberish I don't know. She says English is quite difficult. That trick's not going to work here. Your forehead may be large, but you are a lawyer truly. But you have missed one important fact. What now? In fact, at the time of the incident, I went backstage, but only for a moment. What? Think back to the moment of the crime. You know whereof I speak. Is she really saying all that? What's she talking about? Apollo? Right when the incident occurred? Ah! Is she talking about that? Watch this room for me. I have to call for backup. Right, understood. You want me to make sure no one comes in, right? Mr. Latouche, can you hear me? Cold. So cold. Witness. You're cold? Don't worry. You're going to be fine. Help is on the way. The witness is Siren. Siren? How can a siren witness anything? Yipes! Emma? What was that? Who's there? What's wrong? Emma, did you see anyone just now? Huh? No. I could have sworn I heard a door close. I looked into the room. Just a glance, mind you. So this is when your boots dropped? That explains that. It does. There was no other time I could have dropped it. But that's ridiculous. You only looked in for an instant, but you dropped your brooch? Yeah, go ahead. She has raised a possibility. The only thing that can counter that is evidence. So she looked in at the real crime scene. Actually, I intended to go into the dressing room. I knew nothing or what had happened, of course. But the moment I opened the door, I heard a horrible voice. A forward shouting, who was there, no doubt. A horrible voice indeed. Ugh. I closed the door immediately. Well, that explains the brooch. Let's return to your testimony. That's too convenient. She's hiding something. Lemure, you did look into the room, though, right? Yes. Testify to what you saw. Very well. There was only the briefest of glimpses. When my performance was finished, I went backstage for just a moment. I saw nothing. The late Mr. Latouche's body was behind a wall. Then was led by the police. There. That was when I learned. Okay, hang on. Hang on. through these again here. Interesting. I'm sorry, I have to go through here again. Huh. Well, according to my guide, I'm having to perceive this statement.
Gotcha!
Oh, there it is. I didn't even see that. The cloth was in the way. The late Mr. Lutus's body, you say? Yes. You know something more about Mr. Lutus's death than you are saying. What? I could see you trying not to remember. But the effort you made you swallow. You can't fill my eyes. It is true. It was so terrible after all. Why did Mr. Lutus have to be shot? One moment. Wait a minute. She said that. Not Apollo. One moment, Lemore. Lemure? Yes? What was that you just said? Why did Mr. Lutus have to be shot? Yes? She was hiding something. I knew it. Lemure, I'm afraid you haven't realized it, but your words just now contradicted your testimony. Eh? How can that be? Take this. Lemure contradicted her own testimony, and I have the evidence to prove it. No, not that one. This item here.
Take that!
Tell me, Lemure, how did you know he had been shot? Well, immediately following the incident, a gag order was placed on the scene. This is the document proving that. In your testimony, you told us the court, no one told me anything about the incident. Ah. Furthermore, you testified that you had seen nothing. Yet you knew that Mr. Lutus had been shot. How could you have known? Yo! Whoa. Lemure! You aren't hiding something from this court, I hope? That sweet song of hers was sounding a little too sweet. Ah. Now I remember. Please, allow me to add to my testimony. Of course. All we want to know is the truth. She looks kind of pale, huh? We saw something, I know it. You and the victim said so. I saw bullet holes in the wall and knew Mr. Lutus had been shot. I don't know if I can believe that. And doors right here. How would she see the bullet holes? The door would have blocked the path of the bullet holes, right? I'm pretty sure that's the case.
Objection!
Yep. Lemure, they'll call you the Siren or the Ballad, but lies are hardly becoming of such a creature. I'll put down worthy of our prosecutor, Mr. Justice. Such put-downs are hardly becoming of you, Apollo. Stop polishing your forehead and stop polishing your character, yeah? Come on, can I be cool for once? Observe the diagram. Lemure, look in from the door for just a moment. Correct? Yes, that is so. There were bullet holes in the room, yes. But they were in the wall and the door is on. You see? Assuming you merely glanced into the room, you couldn't have seen those bullet holes. Yow! Lemure? Yes? I'm afraid the defense has raised a good point. It appears you have been holding back something. I must tell you what it is I saw? Yes. The happenings in this trial are being recorded, and I'm certain it will be on the news in Virginia. You understand your reputation is at stake. It falls to you to avoid tarnishing it. Personally speaking, I still believe that cross-examining her will yield us absolutely nothing. But you knew how Mr. Lutus died, and you named her as a witness. You must have seen something, Lemure. Very well. Lemure, please continue with your testimony. Very well, I shall. Okay, I hate to do this at such a, cliffhanger, but I'm going to go ahead and end the video here, because I want to, this part of the trial is way too long to put in one video, so I'll have to split it up to at least 2, maybe 3 parts. So, yeah, that's it for this video, everyone. So until next time, where we shall continue from where we left off here. And before we do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and save it on camera. There we go. There we go. And you can see with the date here, 18th of September 2025. It'll be several months before you see this one anyway. But until next time, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, go ahead and hit that like button. And I will see you all next time when we continue with the trial. So until then, take care and have a great day.